Hello and welcome to the TUSD Lab Safety Fundamentals and Chemical Hygiene Plan Training, Part 2. The following slides will give you a brief overview of laboratory safety fundamentals for safety, chemicals, and lab equipment, and to help you protect your students and yourself while working in the laboratory. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, requires all laboratory instructors to receive a laboratory safety fundamentals training. At the end of this brief session, you should be familiar with general safety procedures, managing and storing chemicals in the laboratory, available online courses, chemical spill or emergency procedures. Science is a process of discovering and exploring the natural world through classroom lecture and experiments. As part of your science class, you will be doing many activities and investigations that will involve the use of various materials, equipment, and chemicals. At TUSD, safety is a priority. It is divided into both the employer and employee responsibilities. The employer is responsible to provide a safe working environment, and the employee is responsible to report any unsafe conditions or acts they see. Remember, this lab safety and chemical hygiene plan is only a source of information. You're the one who has to put the knowledge it gives you to work. The ultimate responsibility to be safe is with you. Now, we will discuss setting up and maintaining an SDS binder. As a laboratory instructor, you are expected to set up and maintain your SDS binder for your classroom or laboratory. Have your SDS binder available in the lab for future reference. A school's SDS binder is a subpart of the Hazard Communication or HAZCOM program and is required by federal and state law. You will need to review the pertinent points of any SDSs for the hazardous chemicals students will be working with. If your laboratory is used by a team of teachers that share the laboratory, you can share your SDS binder. Now, let's look at some chemical safety precautions. Around the district, many science teachers use an online website known as Flint Scientific. Not only is it an informative science educational resource, but it offers innovative ideas to help teachers. In addition, Flint Scientific is a resource for purchasing supplies. Flint Scientific knows that the storage of lab chemicals presents an ongoing safety hazard for school science departments. There are many chemicals that are incompatible with each other and need to be stored on shelves in a safe manner. The following slides will discuss the storing of chemicals. Flint Scientific recommends that teachers store chemicals by separating them into inorganic and organic families. The next slide is a list of the compatible inorganic and organic families. To safely manage and store your chemicals, this slide shows you the grouping of the inorganic and organic families. At the end of this session, you will be provided access to print this slide. After the chemicals have been separated into compatible inorganic and organic families, as shown in the previous slide, they can be stored. The following slide represents shelves and shows 2 rows of shelves for inorganic chemicals. This slide represents your laboratory shelving and storage of inorganic chemicals. Here you can see the top shelf inorganic number 10 items with a label of arsenic, phosphorus, phosphorus pentoxide, and sulfur. And on the shelf, you would store arsenics, phosphorus, phosphorus pentoxide, and sulfurs. Going down, you would label the next shelf inorganic number 2 items: halides, halogens, phosphates, sulfates, sulfites, thiosulfates, acetates, and iodides. And on that shelf, you would store your halides, halogens, phosphates, sulfates, sulfites, thiosulfates, acetates, and iodides. Going down to the third shelf, you would label it inorganic number 3 items: amides, azides, nitrates, except ammonium nitrate, and nitrites. And on the shelf, you would store your amides, azides, nitrates, except ammonium nitrate, and nitrites, and so on for the remaining shelves. This type of shelf arrangement will easily enable you to rearrange your inventory into a safer, more compatible manner. The following slide represents the organic shelves. It shows the shelf labeling and which chemicals will go onto that shelf. These are the shelves for organic chemicals. This type of shelf arrangement would easily enable you to rearrange your inventory into a safer and more compatible manner. By the end of this session, you will have access to print these slides. So far, in this session, we went through some Flint Scientific recommendations showing teachers how to safely store chemicals by separating them into their inorganic and organic related and compatible families. Label and store inorganic and organic chemicals on laboratory shelving. Now, it's time to take a deep breath and let it all settle in. For a little fun, the following slide is a drawing of a school laboratory. Look at each numbered item and see if you can tell what is wrong. Look at each numbered item and see if you can find what is wrong. You may pause here if you need more time. The following list is answers to the number items. You may pause here if you need more time. Here is part 2 of the answers to the numbered items. You may pause here if you need more time. Now, let's look at other safety items involving chemicals and lab equipment. As previously mentioned, Flint Scientific is a well-known online website used by science teachers. Flint Scientific not only provides science supplies and innovative ideas to help teachers, but it also has very in-depth laboratory safety courses. It is recommended that school laboratory instructors take one of the free online Flint Scientific courses. Here is the link to the site, and the site is very user-friendly. You will need to log in and then sign up to take the courses. You will find courses for high school or middle school lab safety. After completion of any of the free online Flint Scientific courses, a certificate of completion will be provided by Flint Scientific and will be stored in their system. If you want to review the information from a Flint Scientific lab safety course, you can take the Flint Scientific lab recertification course. Also, Flint Scientific has many courses that may be of help or interest. The Arizona School Risk Retention Trust, or commonly called the Trust, is TUSD's insurance carrier, and as such has given TUSD the following safety precaution about chemicals that should never be allowed on a school campus. The next slide is a continuation of chemicals that are not allowed on a school campus. At the end of the session, you will have access to print these slides. Getting rid of waste chemicals should be part of your laboratory process. Remember, illegal disposal of chemicals can cause serious problems if dumped down the drain or trash and could subject your school to harsh criminal and civil penalties. If a chemical is no longer needed, do not put it in the chemical storage area. It will become a hazard. Speak to your office manager or science department chair about your need to have unwanted chemicals picked up and disposed of. The office manager can submit a work order to the TUSD Environmental Office at Operations. The work order must contain an inventory list of the exact chemicals with the amounts and an SDS per chemical. Hazardous and non-hazardous chemicals must be separated for pickup. The Risk Management Department can give you more information on the pickup process if needed. For chemical spills or for an emergency, call 911 if the situation is life-threatening, notify the site administrator. For medical attention or medical emergencies, notify the school health office for assistance. Have the office notify the site custodian for chemical cleanup assistance, and if evacuation is necessary, follow your school's emergency plan. Review your school's emergency procedures book in the office to assist emergency responders if needed. Also, know the location of fire extinguishers. In conclusion, this was a brief overview of safety fundamentals for chemicals and laboratory equipment to help protect your students and yourself. To recap this presentation, in Part 2 of this 2-part series of TUSD Lab Safety Fundamentals and Chemical Hygiene Plan, we provided Flint Scientific resources for safely storing chemicals into inorganic and organic related and compatible families. We explained shelf labeling and which chemicals would go on each shelf. We also talked about some free online courses and provided a list of chemicals not allowed in the laboratory per the Trust. We concluded with chemical disposal and emergency procedures. Here are some links that were used in this presentation. If you have any further questions or need more information on the previous subjects, please contact or call the Science Innovation Team, Science Resource Center, Curriculum Department Office, or the Risk Management Department. You can see the contact information here. Thank you. Congratulations! You have completed the video portion of this training module. Now, head to topic number 2 and pass the quiz with an 80% or higher to receive credit for taking this course.